I am planting some trees today. Actually, I'm planting ornamental trees because personally, I'm a big fan of having both edible and ornamental to enjoy in the landscape. And I'm going to show you some tricks for how I plant my trees with success. But before I do, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content. Let's dig in. I'll show you some of the other ornamental trees that I've picked out for our property. But before we do, I'm going to show you exactly how I actually plant this guy. So the first thing you should know is that when it comes to trees and shrubs, you really need to pay attention to the tags and give them their adequate space. So often people are thinking that they love a tree so much they can make it work even if the sun or the space is not quite right. Don't do it. Long term, it's not going to work out. It's going to look awkward. It could be too aggressive growth for the space that it's in. And in order for it to flourish, you really need to give it its needs. So this is a redbud, and it's going to start out in spring with beautiful blooms all over and then give us this gorgeous foliage. It's going to have about a 30-foot spread. And what that means is I'm going to put 15 feet of space in all directions around the very center. So if you're planting a tree in grass, what do you do about the surrounding grass? Because of course the grass is a heavy nitrogen feeder and it will want to grow just right up against your tree. So what I recommend doing is always giving your tree a 3-foot radius at least of grassless space. And we have a very special little plant that I like to plant with all of my trees as a companion. But the very first thing I'm going to do is come out about 1.5 feet, and I'm going to kind of mark my space. And I'll even start taking up some of this grass. I don't need to go deep. I literally just need to take up this surrounding grass. So I'm going to do that all along the perimeter. All right, here is my circle. I've gone around the edges to make it as clean as I can. So I've created my 3-foot diameter here. And what you could do if you really want a nice formal edge, and what I would always do with the landscaping company, is I would actually add some metal edging to the circle, because grass grows through rhizomes horizontally. That grass will want to come through horizontally, but I've got a more permaculture trick that I'll show you here in a minute. First, before I do, I'm going to plant this tree. So I'm going right in the middle, and general rule of thumb is to dig a hole about 2 times the size of the root ball. There's quite a bit of rock in here. And now I've also got a place to kind of put my extra soil. There is some rock. All right, we ran into a pretty massive root, and you can cut those out and everything will work just fine, but it's like just deep enough. So now I'm going to see. Now notice my tree here, when I took it out, I did not rotate the tree. I had already determined the face of the tree. Every tree has a face, and I'm going to tell you what I mean once I put this in the hole. It's a little bit higher than I like, but I think it's going to be okay because I've got some extra compost that I can mound up. Whatever you do not want this line, this top of the root ball right here, to be lower than the soil ground. It has to be either level or a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and get some compost to backfill in. This is going to help the roots and give it a little kickstart of nitrogen, which is responsible for roots. And now, of course, I'm going to kind of smooth out my soil, getting into a nice, even little mound here. And I'm double checking that my root ball is completely covered up. And I should have checked my face, but I didn't move the rotation of the tree. Let me take another look. So the face of the tree is literally the face that you're going to see when you are looking at that tree. Will it grow out eventually? Yes, but there is some foundational structure that you want to take a look at first and identify if it's going to be growing in the right direction. It's just a little detail that's going to make everything that much more beautiful. So you can see how around the sides, it's a little bit lower, but it's totally smooth. I'm also not building soil up on this trunk at all. That also can cause, over time, I'm gonna kind of like a little pat, not to compact it, but just to kind of hold everything. So the root ball is nicely covered, it's lower and smoother along the side. And now for my secret sauce on how I'm going to add a little understory of plants. So this is creeping thyme, and it is one of my favorite plants to put at the base of all of my trees, edible and ornamental. It has a spreading habit, it's perennial, medicinal, culinary, and it's a nitrogen fixer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 4 times per tree. Just like this, equally spaced here. And this will be easy to plant, of course, because this is going to be such soft existing soil. And again, I want the root ball completely underneath soil, no roots exposed. And now, not only do I have a nice ground cover that's going to also be my natural weed suppression, but I've got a natural fertilizer for my tree. This is directly dead on to how I'd be looking at the tree from my porch. And the face I've chosen for here has a nice balance horizontally. So there's nothing kind of awkward. I mean, this is the tree itself. It's got some longer branches growing here, some shorter here. But overall, I've got this vertical main trunk going up the middle here. And then I've got kind of an even balance of these branches going out the sides. Now with everything, of course, we are going to mulch at the base until our thyme fills in, and we're going to give it a good water. Thankfully, I think we've got some rain heading our way. So now let's take a look at some of my other ornamental trees that I am planting in my garden. We are adding a maple to the property. This is going to just complete this bed. This is one of our favorite trees to grow. We've always had one wherever we've lived, and I'm really excited about it taking off. Now with maples, you should know that they grow really slowly. So if you want immediate satisfaction, go ahead and invest in a larger size. The next tree is this hydrangea tree. Now this is going to have white to pink large clusters of blooms. It's going to be a statement piece in our little semicircle here. We're going to put some benches or chairs sort of around here just to kind of hang out. It's really a specimen, meaning that it is going to be just a beautiful, not too large, probably about 8 to 10 feet tall, just beautiful tree. Last but not least is this ornamental cherry tree, and we've got this sort of tucked back here at sort of the edge of our property. So we've got our house and garden over here, keep rotating, and then we'll have our weeping willow and our cherry tree. This guy's gonna get massive, about 40 feet tall and wide, but it's going to produce magnificent bright pink flowers that's gonna fill in almost this whole area, and it's going to be a beautiful backdrop. I hope you enjoyed this guide on how to plant trees, as well as a tour of what ornamental trees I'm planting on my property. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading content.